BTR's Elite Partners podcast and blog series, where we invite our elite partners to share what they're doing with technology and benefits. Hey there, I'm Holly Brummett. I am a host of the series and the business development coordinator for BTR. And with me is Therese Tomasak, my co-host. Hey, Therese.
Hey, Holly. Thanks a lot. I'm Therese Tomasak, and I'm the consulting operations and vendor manager for BTR. And we're just so excited to bring awareness to the market about our elite carrier and vendor partners.
Yeah, we've been called the gold standard as far as technology deployment and consulting services BTR has. And I'll tell you what, our partners, they're gold standard too. They make everything that we do just sparkle. And it's very awesome to see the things that are going on in their world.
They are just great partners. And, I'd also just like to add that, we created these partnerships to really help employers and employees in all types of industries across the United States. HR technology and employee benefits can be complicated a lot of the times. And here at BTR, we really aim to not only simplify the experience, but also improve upon it with creative and customized solutions for employers everywhere. And today, we are proud to feature Aflac on the podcast.
Aflac, we all know it, right? We're all thinking about the duck in our brain right now. And we joked about that with Jennifer from Aflac. She explained to us a little bit about some new marketing that they have coming up with a professional athlete or something. So it's exciting. They have lots of really cool things going on. So let's get into the conversation with Jennifer from Aflac and hear all about it.
All right. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Today we have with us Jennifer Daniel from Aflac. Welcome to the podcast, Jennifer. We're really happy to have you join us today. Will you please introduce yourself and what you do?
Yes, good morning, good afternoon. Happy to be with you guys today. Jennifer Daniel with Aflac. My role there is National Practice Leader for Technology Partnerships and really working with our broker partners. And so our team helps drive the partnerships between our Ben admin, our partners like BTR, as well as our premier brokers, and aligning those two resources together and really making sure that Aflac is as easy as possible to do business with on our platform partners systems.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. One of the things that BTR gets questioned on a lot is, what do your partners specialize in? What are they known for? So would you please share what Aflac is known for?
Absolutely. Well, I thought I could give you some fun facts, which is probably a little more exciting than just listing off our resume. But we were founded in 1955, and a few things that people don't know necessarily about Aflac is we are the #1 distributor of cancer insurance in Japan. So that's fun fact number one. We insure over 50 million people, and we insure them in products, voluntary benefits products. So think of critical illness, accident, hospital indemnity. We have individual as well as group products, so that differentiates us in the market as well. Fun fact is our CEO is the longest standing CEO in the US next to Warren Buffett. So he's been around a long time, has a great tenure, and has really done a lot with our company, including adding those group benefits about 10 years ago. So we were totally individual and got into the group space 10 years ago. And that's when we really started to explore our broker partnerships as well as these premier technology partnerships. And then, of course, the Aflac Duck, which came on the scene in about 2000, just celebrated his birthday. And that's what I think a lot of people think of. I can't get an Uber without somebody saying, "Oh, where do you work?" I'm like, Aflac. They're like, "Oh, Aflac." So it definitely, the brand carries itself for sure. So it's fun.
That's awesome. We were joking about your rubber duck wall behind you. Perfect for being an Aflac.
It's not Aflac approved. It's just ducks. So, but yes, thanks.
It's Aflac akin.
Yes.
Adjacent. So we talked a little bit about what Aflac's known for. We all know the Aflac Duck, and we know the brand pretty well. One of the things that I think is really interesting, especially why we're so excited to have you on today, is you really are a market leader as far as a lot of personal insurance products. What are you seeing in the way of major trends in the network, in the market rather, and how is Aflac responding to some of that?
Yeah, this is something I love kind of watching what's happening with the industry, and you can't avoid it, obviously being right in the thick of it, and you guys are too. But, personalization has really hit a high point. People expect us to know them. Our clients expect us to know them. We have AI, we have the intelligence, we can get access to claims data. So they want the Amazon-like experience, right? You should know what I've done. You should know what's happened because I know that information's out there. So take that data and then maximize my benefits, maximize the way you pay my claim. So personalization is a hot topic. We're not where even P&C, I think, is ahead of the life and health division when it comes to being able to personalize that. And a lot of that has to do with our lovely compliance rules and the DOI regulations that we have to work with. But we're definitely getting better when it comes to the personalization of things. I also think that claims adjudication, automation of paying claims is kind of the new sexy thing in the market. It's how do we pay people for the benefits that they have, ideally without them even having to file a claim. We're not there yet either, and a lot of that comes down to permission and access to data, but we're definitely trending closer to that, at least reminding people, hey, you might have had a benefit where you could be eligible to get this money, don't forget to file your claim. So there's some really cool innovation happening in that space, which has been really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, that's cool. Automation is attractive for sure.
Yes. Absolutely,
Yep.
Absolutely.
And thinking towards open enrollment season, there's lots of people who are going to be seeing maybe some of your plans for the first time. What are advice that you would give to employers and brokers as they're maybe rolling out Aflac plans for open enrollment or renewing some plans?
Yeah, so this is a soapbox item of mine, one that I love to talk about. I get the chance to talk to brokers quite frequently, and I harp on this. And you all at BTR are a step ahead with the services that you provide, but 90% of our clients, at least, are already on a platform. And I came from that space. And what I learned is that during that finalist meeting, that platform will pitch you all the bells and whistles and the cool educational tools and the surveys and the data that platform can do. But then when you start to implement, you get caught up in the nuts and bolts, right? I mean, you guys implement these platforms. So it's how do we build the plans? How do we make sure payroll's working? Yep. But clients forget about maximizing those open enrollment tools, the education, the engagement tools. So my number one piece of advice is to do an audit with you, with the broker, with the client, and if you can, get the platform engaged. Because what happens is platforms are always evolving. They're rolling out new bells and whistles all the time, but sometimes they forget to tell the existing clients about, oh yeah, we have these new things that you can use, or those clients just don't take the time to set them up. So year-round engagement, doing a survey before and after annual enrollment, looking at the data within the platform to say, are we offering the right benefits? Who's enrolling in them? Who's utilizing them? And then during annual enrollment, really leveraging that platform data where it makes sense to say, okay, 50% of these people haven't even touched the system yet. What do we need to do to communicate with them? Do we need to have a manager call? Do we need to do, emails to get people to remind them that, hey, you haven't enrolled yet and you only have so much time left to go? So the platform audit is kind of what I call that. And that's probably my number one recommendation is to take the time to do that, because these spend admin, these technology platforms are fantastic and they have great tools, but you have to turn them off.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We are well versed in understanding all the things that the admin can do. There's even some payroll and HRS systems that can do a lot of the similar communication type things. We also have iBenefit on hand that can support with communication efforts as well as benefit education. So there's lots of things available on the market. But yeah, start with what you have, save a little money, and use what you have already in your pocket. If you're able to, and that's a really good tip. What else do you have?
Well, yeah, it's maximizing kind of, like you said, the decision support tools, if those are available. A lot of these platforms, and I know, Solarix, Business Solver, ADP, they have them built in or they're partnering with somebody. So it's how do you turn those on and maximize that help? Because employees want help. They don't know what to do. They still don't know what to do. They don't want to talk about benefits. So maximizing the tools that are in there for not only education, but also the, how do I know what's right for me? And then the one that every broker out there, I think, should be touting, they don't all do it, is the full positive enrollment. Because you have one chance a year to get in front of your employees and remind them how great you are as an employer and all the benefits that you're providing. Why wouldn't you take advantage of that? So not only is it, hey, reinforcing, this is a great place to work, here's all the great benefits we're giving you. We can update your information, make sure you have your beneficiaries so we have the accurate data, and it gives them a chance to see what the new offerings are. because that's the other trend we're seeing is these lifestyle benefits, right? So we offer those core voluntary benefits. You obviously have your medical, but we're starting to see a lot of clients, and I'm curious to see what you guys are seeing too, is starting to offer, pet insurance, legal, identity theft, mental wellness. I mean, are you seeing those trends too?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So the full positive to me is a no-brainer, but I know there's some brokers that don't want to push it, but I don't think you have to push it. I think you can pull and explain to employers why that's such a good idea.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. When we look at kind of HR technology and when it started to, kind of evolve into an all-encompassing employee wellness, so financial,
Yep.
Physical, mental, everything like that. The tools that employers used had to evolve, had to kind of adapt to those changes, because the workforce is changing. They're wanting different things. And companies are having to adapt to those changes, right? So, to kind of go back on that, experts are saying that up to 50% of employees could be contracted workers by 2025. So how is Aflac kind of preparing for that change in the workforce, as far as, the tools that you're using in your technology?
Yep. And I think you nailed it when you said workforce and not employees. And so that's what we're seeing is, and it's funny because I've asked this question, I've been in front of brokers and employers and I said, all right, question, how many of you actually think that the workforce will change to 50% of cotton? Nobody raises their hand. By 2025, you change it to 2030 and some hands start going up. So who knows when it's going to happen, but it's happening. And it's in, the pandemic was a great indicator of that. People are like, I don't need to go into an office. I can do this on my own. I can have my own, whatever it is that I want to be an entrepreneur with, I can do that. So I think that window has been opened and people are seeing that. And the great thing about Aflac is we're able to support employees, workforce, gig workers, whichever type of employees or workforce that employer wants to offer benefits to. So we have our group employer benefits, right? Either employer paid or voluntary through the employer. So those are your true W-2 employees. But then if you have 1099 or contracted workers or gig workers, and you might want to entice them or provide them with benefits, we still have individual benefits too. And that's the core of who Aflac was. That's how we were, originally founded. So being able to bring both group benefits through a broker, through an employer, as well as individual benefits for those gig workers to the table makes Aflac really unique in the market. And is something that we're really working on, how do we tell that story and bring those two together from an experience perspective to make it easy for the employer to offer both. Obviously, if you're doing individual products, it's more of a direct pay, so you don't have to deal with the payroll deduct, but still allowing employees that option.
Yeah, kind of coming off of that whole change in the workforce idea, we are also seeing a lot of the workforce is moving to more digital workspaces.
Yes.
We're being much more siloed in our homes or in a separate office locations than we were before, the pandemic. And there's a lot of talk about digital enablement across the board, APIs, automations. So what are some of the things that Aflac is working on to be prepared for more digital enablement?
Yes, our coworkers are now fuzzy and furry as opposed to human.
Absolutely. I've got
house
3 of them locked upstairs so they don't bark during this
Yeah.
podcast.
Well, I was about that, but he's being good. Obviously, digital is a huge strategy, I think, for almost every insurance company out there, and really any company, right? Because we're going there anyhow, but the pandemic just accelerated it because we had to respond. We didn't have a choice. And now
Right.
I love it. I think it pushed us to be better and realize it. I think it pushed us, at least with an Aflac, to say, hey, we can do this and we can do it pretty quickly. When in the past, oh, it's going to take this long and this long. So lots of things that we're doing in that space. We have an entire innovation group that's called Hatch. And they're constantly looking at, okay, what are the new digital services out there? Could we, pull those into our existing processes and procedures? And how do we make the experience better? Because it's ultimately all about how do we be easy to do business with, both for our employers, our brokers, as well as the employees and those end policyholders. So looking at what's out there, keeping a pulse on what's new and what's great. I love going to InsurTech because that conference is all about innovation. And I come back and I'm like, we should do this and this. And they're all like, all right, settle down, Jen, settle down. But, obviously the API trend is huge too. And all of the carriers are trying to figure out what does that look like. We're definitely in that space. We've got our EOI APIs, all the acronyms, but that evidence of insurability API is up and running. We're working on both the enrollment, the plan build API. We have a API for our dental providers on that side. So that automatic transfer of data as opposed to the old-fashioned EDI file is something that it's here to stay. Everyone has a little bit different bend on how they're doing that, but I would say, that's definitely a hot digital trend for sure.
Absolutely. Are there any exciting roadmap updates as far as APIs? Anybody exciting that you're building one with?
So we're doing a kind of a combo approach. So we're doing a lot of them in-house. We found that some of our larger providers wanted to do it direct versus using a middleware. And then we do have a few partners that we're working with right now to kind of figure out, okay, for those that we can go, one to many, let's figure out what that looks like. So we're doing a little bit of both.
Okay.
Awesome. So, when we talk about, Aflac's, wanting to optimize, their APIs, automation, working with new partners on how you get that information across those lines of communication. I know that Aflac's also recently added some new products to its offering. So what can you tell us about these new products?
Yeah, it was really an effort to expand our portfolio. So in the past, we had the critical illness, hospital, accident, and cancer were kind of our core four. But we have recently added life, absence, and disability. We did that a couple of years ago. And then we also have our own dental vision product with our own dental vision network. So those 5 products have really expanded the scope of what we bring to the table and made us a true voluntary benefits carrier, voluntary benefits provider. And then we recently just partnered with Trupanion to offer pet insurance through the Trupanion brand. And it's not duck insurance, but pet insurance. And so, I think that they're not acquisitions. Well, 2 of them are acquisitions. Trupanion is a partnership. Really was a visionary move by Dan Amos, our CEO, and Fred Crawford to say, how do we kind of buy to build, right? Instead of trying to build these products from scratch, let's look at somebody who has them in the market, has been successful, has the processes, the people in place, pull those into Aflac so we can be up and running faster as opposed to trying to build it from the ground up. So it's really given us a great story to tell to brokers and to clients to say, we can bundle these product offerings. We can create that one experience that we just didn't have before. So it's been a lot of fun to be part of that.
Terrific.
That's really cool. Some of those products they're really exciting for people who really could use them, right? There's some people who have been waiting for something like that. That's really cool that you're getting to bring those out in the market. Anything else you want to share with us while we're here together, Jennifer? Anything exciting coming up for Aflac or anything else?
Oh my gosh, so many exciting things. I guess I just put the challenge out there to the other carriers. I have a lot of great friends that do what I do at other carriers, and we're constantly talking about how do we as a whole make the industry better. There's enough business for all of us. So, constantly looking at how do we work together to advance what we bring to the end client and leveraging things like the LIMRA LDEX. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that, creating those standards that they've had on the medical side for a long time and maximizing those. So, when the platforms can use the LDEX, when we can use it, it makes it easier for everybody. It makes the APIs easier. So maximizing those industry standards, but continuing to innovate, and working with partners like BTR. You guys have been such a great partner to us. And I was thinking about my notes for this and I was like, well, they're already doing this. They're doing this. They're doing this. So, you guys are doing those things for your clients that, a lot of clients, they pay all this money for that technology, but they don't have anybody like you all to support them in maximizing it and carrying them through that whole journey. So we're really doing a lot of journey mapping, if you will, at Aflac about, what do we want from quote to claim for those employees and for that experience, and how do we improve it? How do we digitize it? So it's such a fun space to be in right now because there is it's frustrating too, because of course it's never fast enough. But there's innovation out there, there's innovative companies, and Aflac as a whole is very willing to say, okay, what do we need to do to be on top? Because people know our brand, they know the duck, So we want to make sure that experience matches the brand name that they know so well. And I guess we have a new commercial coming out. So if that's the last exciting thing. So we have a new goat, and they won't tell me who it is, but it's super top secret, but that will be coming out when football starts. So there you go.
A goat?
Greatest of all time. So it's another professional athlete that's supposed to be the top of their game.
I thought that you were replacing the doctor. I'm like, no, don't do that.
Hold on, time out.
No,
Not okay.
Sorry. Greatest of all time. So we'll see which new athlete, because we have Deion Sanders, so we've had some big names in our commercials. So they're being very top secret. We can't get it out of them, but
oh boy,
exciting.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it for sure. Well, Jennifer Daniel from Aflac, thank you so much for your time today on our podcast, for joining us on the Elite Partners podcast series. And we appreciate your partnership with us as well. We couldn't do this without partners like Aflac, like you, and we are very thankful to have you on board.
Thanks for the time. It was fun.
Now, to the listener of this podcast, if you are an employer looking for HR technology solutions, whether it be payroll, then admin, HRIS, HCM, or even a year-round one-on-one enrollment support, we have solutions available for you that will fit your culture and your budget. And our elite partners, they're making a difference in the benefits and HR tech world as well. And we're here for it. So if you would like more information about the services you heard today, please email us at btrprojects@bentechre.com to connect with our experts. Thanks so much, and hope you have a great day.